Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Thank you guys so much for being here. Another lovely day to be running Market Check brought to you by BB. Again, thanks so much for being here and supporting us, guys. Before we get too deep into the show, if you could do me a solid, please consider, that's all I ask, is just that you consider not only liking, but if you're on X, retweeting, all right, because we're on X now as well. But also, if you are new here, at any point during the show and you are not subscribed to the channel, you say, hey, I like what they had to say. I found that entertaining. I found that educational. I found that funny. I found that serious when appropriate. I'm going to subscribe and support them. All right. That's all I ask is that you consider liking, retweeting, and subscribing. And again, thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to have a great show today. We are joined again by our friend Louis T. Lil Louis T from Twitter. He was on maybe a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. The days all blend together for me. I genuinely, I cannot keep it straight. But we had Louis on in the not
2 weeks ago.
Past. Yeah.
Like a week and a half ago.
Week
Right
and
before
a
I
half.
left.
That was it. That's crazy. Anyways, we had Louis on. Louis and I were chatting this morning. He's available. We're short-staffed. It was a perfect fit, right? It was a perfect fit. He's going to drop some alpha for you guys today. He was just on the beach, actually. He was slacking. He was on the beach enjoying himself, which is not allowed in crypto. You're not allowed to enjoy yourself. Every day has to be stressful and filled with misery. And that's what breeds character. So Louis's been slacking, but we're going to put him through the ringer today. No more vacations, Louis. No more vacations. You're gonna be our chart monkey today. Okay, we're gonna put you through the ringer. And I forgot to put Louis' Twitter down below, but we'll figure that out at some point. All right, we're gonna figure that out.
Let's see.
We're gonna figure that out. You can find him on Twitter. But anyways, actually, Tucker, what I need you to do is your chart on the right. Your candles look so much better on the left. Can you make your other candles?
Oh, I didn't even realize it. It reverted. Yeah,
it reverted. We can't have any reversion here.
What you do is you come here and you go 40.
Oh,
40%.
Oh,
number.
Boom.
Okay. So first of all, much more digestible because your other colors are horrible. I've told you that before. I've been very vocal
colors,
about
Max. It's just the trend. It's just
kind of have like an epileptic seizure from I'm looking at your colors now. This feels much better. So just looking at your chart, Tucker, it looks to me like you're bullish here.
I mean, yeah, it appears that way. It appears that way, Max, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I mean, I drew similarities to this, 4-hour 50K range a while ago. I'm not going to draw all the pretty circles again, but it looks decently similar, kind of a range low, deviation, get back.
Yeah.
Now, I think we're probably in this move, and I don't know where that goes, whether it comes back under this value area low, like, we get one of those and then pull that. Looking at this chart, I'm like, what was there some sort of catalyst for this? Because that is, I don't know why.
Yeah, the catalyst was that there's only 21 million.
Yeah, on any given day, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if we're gonna pull that vertical of a move again, but like I just see structural similarities to this range still, right? And the volume profile for me is just confluence, right? Because let me get rid of these brushes because it appears we are like hanging out in this value area low to point of control region, right? So like what I'm talking about is like this region, right? So
what I noticed just quickly looking at this is that your range on the right, the range low was much lower, right?
Yeah.
We didn't have as big of a deviation where, the range on the right, we spent a lot of time below the value area low. The range on the left that we're currently in actually is a much cleaner range, right? Like the value area low and range low are perfectly aligned. They're being respected, much more pronounced deviation. So, for that reason, I'm kind of inclined to think that we just hold this value area low, eventually work our way above the point of control. But
we need to go get those levels for sure.
We certainly do.
Those highs. I think as long as you just kind of like base out here and just kind of do this, like you're eventually just going to pop like that. As long as you hold like 61K, I think you're good. I think you're good. What alts do in the meantime is, totally.
Well, ETH BTC looks terrible, man. I mean,
that's
it just looks.
that's
I mean, that's nothing new, right? That's nothing new.
Oh my God, dude.
I mean, does it get much worse than that? It's like your only hope at this point is like some sort of seller exhaustion moment where like there's literally nobody left to sell ETH into Bitcoin, or you get bailed out by the ETF. That's it.
I think.
Feel like it's.
Go ahead.
Well, I've noticed this, and I've also someone who I've learned from brought this up a while ago. It's like you could tell that there was a change in like the ETH BTC ratio from 2018, 2017 cycle to the 2021 cycle, because like you see on the if you go back to 2017, 2018, you see that intense drawdown from like the peak of the cycle through the bear market, whereas during the bear market, ETH BTC kind of more or less just chopped sideways, and you didn't get that drastic like drawdown. So, I mean, maybe they're trading more or less similar than in previous. So I don't know. I think we're going to continue to see this change and morph as the years go on. I think it's just going to have to something we're going to have to adapt to.
Louis, what's your like 3 to 6 month bias on this chart right here, man? Because I look at this shit and
I haven't looked at it much.
You haven't looked at it much.
I really don't. I mean, like, I know last cycle was a big indicator, and like since like just by the looks of it, and like it just hasn't. Because if you were using this as a basis of going long ETH, you would have missed out on what, like $1,000, like 2K to 3K move on ETH if you're waiting for ETH BTC to rotate. Like we got that move. I mean, ETH isn't back at all time highs yet, but we still got a good move off the lows. And if you were looking at this chart to predict that and waiting for that to flip, you already missed out on a good chunk of gains, in my opinion.
For sure.
The real significance to the ETH BTC chart, in my opinion, is that it's really acted as sort of our risk on barometer in previous cycles, right? Like when ETH BTC, the chart starts to pump.
And it's not anymore, is it, Max?
No, and that's what I was going to say, is that like, is it possible that it just doesn't matter anymore, right?
What do you think it is now? Because I have an idea.
I think it's Solana, or you just simply look at others' dominance, or something like that, because it's possible that ETH BTC now represents something different than it did last cycle, where risk on is now SOL ETH or SOL BTC, and maybe we don't know the point, the new purpose of ETH BTC, right? I mean, I can tell you how I use ETH. I treat Ethereum like a stable coin. Like, I don't want to hold cash in a bull market. I choose to just hold ETH, and then I put ETH in a lending protocol, and I borrow stable coins against it. That's literally what I use ETH for. I don't use ETH to like gamble on shitters anymore. Well, that's not true. I do a little bit of that, but you know what I mean, right? If you really want to get deep in the trenches, you go somewhere else now. And that's new this cycle, in my opinion.
Yeah. I like SOL BTC for risk on, right? I mean, we've been pretty much risk on since what, October, November. That's when this thing is just blasted off. Like, we went risk off for altcoins kind of towards the end of March. I mean, I think this is much, much better of a barometer. And if it says anything, right, like, you should get that at some point, right? Like, that should happen.
Did that low get swept there, Tucker, before the huge move up?
Not the low. They swept kind of the higher low, right? So this higher low should probably get swept, right? Because like they swept this low, right? So maybe we sweep 0.0192, 0.019 basically.
Yeah.
So what would that be? Like maybe like 20% lower on SOL BTC. Wow, that would have to be Bitcoin moving up. It would literally have to be. It would have to be Bitcoin going to like 80K. And then SOL BTC just gets nuked, and then it's all season. Like, that's, if it's Bitcoin going lower, then you're not going to get this afterward, I don't think, obviously, right?
Yeah. But one difference that I'm noticing between those structures is like the last pump on Sol BTC went above that high to the left. Like it made a
What?
higher high.
What? Instead of a lower high, I made a higher high. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's not ever going to be perfect, but
I
No,
think it
and
was a good
these were all like
gauge.
flat, and then we're getting higher lows here. But what'd you say, Louis?
No, like if you just look at it, like you said, like October, like if you were buying alts, like October, November, like that was when you bought the bottom on most alts. So like definitely
Yeah.
from that standpoint, if you were just looking at this chart, that was a key indicator. Like, okay, it's risk on alts. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what Sol's going to do. I mean, obviously Sol's going to perform. I don't know like how well it's going to do. So we'll see. But I think, yeah, definitely from that standpoint, like you used it back in October and November rather than looking at ETH BTC. That was definitely made more sense to follow that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good point. And Tucker, what if you went back to the Sol BTC chart for just a second, and then throw up others on the bottom?
New pain.
Yeah, new pain. Because this will tell us exactly what we need to know, man. Like when Sol BTC moves up, what does others do? That's the relationship.
Yeah.
You're probably gonna have to look at it on like a
No, you're
daily.
gonna have to put it in log mode.
No, you don't need log. I'll
Bro,
just
gosh,
zoom in,
you
brother.
log deniers. You
I
guys
mean, okay, look. So we got wow. Yeah, I am a log denier. Okay,
imagine
look.
being a log denier, man.
Look at this, man. You got Sol BTC ripped while others BTC got nuked, right?
Wait,
And
other
what happened afterwards? Little dip, send. Others Bitcoin literally just straight up in a straight line. Right. So Sol strength did lead a little bit.
I mean,
Just
Sol is your gambling index, man. That's when Sol BTC moves, that's when the market wants to just go just stupid,
yeah, and these are decently
And
correlated.
last cycle, that was ETH BTC, to be clear.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm almost like there seems to be kind of a hyper focus on ETH BTC. And I'm guilty of it too. Like, I'm an old dog. It's tougher to teach me new tricks. I've got bad habits from previous cycles, but I think that there's more significance on the ETH BTC pair than is probably warranted, to be
Look at
fair.
this, man. Look at others. I mean, if we think Sol BTC is similar to this, like that would have said we put in the May 2021 top already, which would be fine because others is already down. Like others, you would say is like in here, like about to
Or
do
like a
that.
smaller version of that.
Yeah, like we had like a mini top, right? Like we topped, right? Like we hit 74K, we pulled back 25%, whatever. We topped for locally, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's already pulled back a ton, right? Which is why it does not make sense to get bearish here, especially on altcoins.
Doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. So I mean, you technically, what's this drawdown? You drew down 40% from the top on total 3. This is probably worse, actually. That was 68%. Obviously, we don't have to do that, but again, it's more bullish this time too. These are lower lows. These are higher lows. I don't know.
Yeah. But see, I actually don't even like I like the fractal comparison, to be clear. I like what you're doing. Like the structure looks similar, but I actually think that others is way earlier in the cycle than that fractal would allude to. Like I think that
Yeah, I think it's hard to compare it to any previous cycle, right? Because there's so many more coins, and
Yeah,
I don't know.
I
I
mean
agree with
here,
that.
let me just pull a Tommy on the chart real quick, and then
Do it.
we'll give it back to you. I mean, this is where I view total 3 at, man. Like this is we haven't even gotten above our previous bull market complacency shoulder yet.
Yeah,
Like that's when the real fun begins. So, in my opinion, whenever we're done dinking around here, like this is where the real fun begins. And this shit happens quickly, right? If you look at this cycle, last cycle, we basically total 3 went up 720% in 4 months, give or take. That's crazy. It happens really quickly. And I'm telling you right now, when we were in this region, here, I'll make this really ugly light blue. Okay, teal. When we were in this region, this was not that fun. Okay, a lot of doubt. I remember this time. A lot of doubt. Bitcoin was sitting under the previous cycle all-time high, chopping around, dinking around, not having that much fun. I mean, I'll throw Bitcoin up on the bottom here. Take a look at it. Same thing, same
Yeah.
thing as this cycle, right? Here's Bitcoin last cycle. Look where Bitcoin was at. To be fair, we've spent more time so far, but same exact region, right? Like this area is where we're at right now, right in here. Same exact thing. So I just don't think it really warrants being bearish here. Like I just think we have, in my opinion, like that last bit of mania to come,
Yeah, retail isn't here yet. I know everyone keeps saying it, but they're not here.
I wonder if GME is going to bring them back, man. That might be interesting. Louis, I'm going to throw your chart on the screen, man.
Okay.
Let's hear from Lil Louis T.
Lil Louis T in the building. Yeah, so last time I was on, about last week, we were actually inside of this, falling wedge. There's 100 different ways you could look at this. This is just the way I have it on my screen right now. I have a couple different views, but we were inside this falling wedge. And we since had gotten that breakout, and now we're kind of just getting that slow drift back down, filling some FEGs, filling some liquidity. And it looks like we're still holding above this this wedge as a breakout. And yeah, so 62K, 61.9 is like, this is the level I want to see hold. If not, we can come down and kind of maybe double bottom here. But yeah, we're holding above the structure. This kind of selling we got this morning is like, there's little to no volume here. So I think it's just a lot of noise. And what we get, CPIs at tomorrow, or what do we get tomorrow?
Yeah, CPIs tomorrow.
So I would take any price action today with just a grain of salt, just because tomorrow is probably going to be the real volatility. But yeah, I'd like to see this area hold. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, bears are taking a victory lap, and they haven't even mustered up a 30% pullback like we're used to seeing. So not much here. We got 20% consolidation. It's a high time frame support. Same thing I was saying last time. And, we're holding above this consolidation wedge here. So I'm still bullish. I think we push out of here, out of this level in the near future.
I like it. I like it.
Do you love it?
I love it. I love it. Yeah.
You're aping. I can tell you're aping. Look at you.
Oh, man. Look at, he said, CLSK position. Oh, no, brother. I don't even hold CLSK anymore, bro.
Look at
DXY, bro. Nuke that.
Yeah, so
let's see.
So last week I was on the beach, and
we know.
I tuned in. Max didn't even know who I was. I tipped him $10, and I was like, "Listen, Max," I called him. I was like, "Listen, I gave you $10. Like, I'm back. Let me back on the show one more time."
Don't believe a word Louis says. Don't believe anything.
He's like, "Who's this
lying
Louis
through his
guy?"
teeth right now.
Well, Louis is a version of Louis. My name is Louis as well, so Max knows now.
Oh wait, that actually did happen. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
I was like, wait, I was calling Dixie top from the beach. I was like, Dixie's top is in. I was like, this is like the one chart I actually looked at. I really didn't look at. Normally on vacation, I'm just on my phone nonstop. My wife wants to kill me. But this, I actually really did disconnect this trip. But I did happen to pull up the DXY, and I'm seeing a lot of similarities that we saw back here in October of last year to where we are now. You got the deviation of range highs, bearish throwback or retest, and then continuation lower.
That shit looks terrible, man. That chart looks
it looks bad.
And this is what you want to see for risk assets. We're coming down here. Now you're starting to see, lower cap risk asset stocks just start to pop off. And if we continue down and at least to the mid range or range lows, you're going to continue to see risk on perform well. And I think crypto will catch up to this GME crypto low cap mania we're starting to see. I think it's more of a starting gun to a season versus a finish line like a lot of people are calling for. So that's my view on it.
No, that looks literally identical. Yeah, that that yellow circle.
Yeah.
Throw up like others or total 3 in a new pane and see what it did from November 10th to the end of the year last year.
You might need to
Oh, shit.
go back to that. Go back to the plus sign in the upper corner.
Hold on 1 second. Fuck that up.
And then see to the right. If you put your mouse over, see new pane.
Yeah.
There you go. Bang.
Okay, cool.
And then just double click your axis on DXY. The numbers on the right.
Yeah, double click
There we
that.
There you go. Bang. That's what we're talking about.
Max, I need I'm good. I do this nonstop and like I spend hours on this stuff and you're still like light years ahead of me. I need like a master class.
Well,
Funny
Louis,
you say
check out
that.
the second link in the description below. I'll give you a discount code for the BB Academy where you can learn to chart like me.
So let's see here from here. Yeah, so others were straight up.
Interesting.
Send that shit higher, man.
Very interesting.
Send it higher with haste, expeditiously.
Yeah, look at that.
Dude,
From here to here at least. That's like perfect. And then you got the bounce, and then we got this little consolidation here.
Mhm.
And then
It still went up together. Like
it went up. It went up here too.
Yeah.
Damn.
But yeah.
Truly damn. You want to know what the most disappointing thing is, though, about this chart? Is that we can no longer look at it because there's not enough likes on the stream.
Yep.
So we're going to go over to Tucker's chart, and we're going to pull up a commodities chart, probably between the 5-second and the 15-second, okay? So the only thing that's truly in capitulation right now is the like button and the public support of market check. Guys, listen, here's the deal. Here's the deal. This is the lean hog futures chart on the 10-second time frame. Okay. This is painful. This is tedious. This is awful. This is Chinese water torture. Okay. You do not want lean hog futures on the 10-second time frame. The only way to make it stop is by showing your public support of BB and market check by liking the stream. Guys, if you are enjoying, look at this panic clicking. This is tyranny. Panic clicking. That's right. People panic liking. Guys, if you are enjoying the content at all, or even if you're not enjoying the content, you're like, damn, I like to just watch to make fun of these guys. That's fine too. But if you want to make fun of us, you need to like the stream still, okay? Do us a solid. Take 1 second on your busy days. Hit that thumbs up button. Guys, it does wonders for the channel. It does wonders for the show. It does wonders. I promise we wouldn't ask if it didn't make a big difference. Smash that like button. We got 270 people watching on YouTube. We probably got triple that on Twitter. You Twitter guys, I mean, you always come through, all right? But we really need is you hit that heart button. You can also hit that retweet button. Help share the content, guys. Let's get some retweets out there. Help spread the good word. We got our friend Lil Louis T from Twitter joining us today. Wow, look at that setup on the lean hog futures. Who could have foreseen? We're pumping.
We're pumping.
We're pumping.
There we go.
All right. All right, let's see what we're at.
How we looking?
135. We're good. Let's get back to it.
All right.
Actually, we're going to go back to Louis here. Oh, we got Chef Jackus.
How are you?
Were you busy moisturizing?
Yes. I was busy being unbothered. It takes skill to be unbothered.
But didn't you hear that the bear market started, Jackus?
I keep hearing that, yes.
You heard that. You're
The
probably nervous. You're probably very bothered.
Moisturized, hectic,
Yeah.
in my own lane. Flourishing. Hey, Louis.
What's up,
Hey,
Jeff?
Louis. How you doing?
Good, man. Happy
Love to
be
see you
here.
smile. Love to see you smile, man.
Nothing
Louis
to
has a
frown
nice
about. I know
smile,
there's a lot of
doesn't he?
people are frowning, man. You gotta
Good
smile
vibes
for
only.
me.
Good
You know what
vibes
makes
only.
me smile is this chart here because I don't know what it is. Maybe Max and Jackus and Tucker and the rest of BB, maybe we're the crazy ones. But I'm just seeing a lot of people on Twitter that people have looked up to and have learned from over the years who have cycle experience, calling one by one, day by day. I'm seeing a new person capitulate saying they feel like this is a top. When you just look back at it, I have a handful of alts I want to show you guys just to compare from the 2021 cycle. And you're not going to get these big, this is Sol back in 2021, and you're not going to get these big 1,000% returns, your 10Xs, your 20Xs, without these 60, 70, 80% drawdowns leading into it. And that's exactly what we saw last cycle. This is an 87 to 90 day consolidation where Sol dropped 67%. And like, that's what we're seeing right now. And we're probably right around this lower range of these downtrends. And we're seeing people start to capitulate right at the lows when you should be getting most bullish. So this is Sol. As you see, we got a 67% drawdown, followed by a huge 1,000% upside move over a couple months. I also have another one here, and I could do this all day, guys. I was looking at this last night. This is Link. Link had a stronger.
Keep going all day. Keep going all day.
Yeah, Link had
no
a
one's
stronger.
allowed to speak the rest of the show. Louis is going to show you altcoins pumping from last cycle. Okay,
Yeah.
everyone's silent.
Like, and this, I feel like this is like the best way to like give you guys context, because I could say whatever I want, but like you have to be able to like see it in front of you to be like, oh, okay, like that makes sense. So like right here, Link, we had 2 drawdowns. We had a 67%, we had an uptrend, 67% drawdown, and then we had another 50% drawdown, all within with like maybe like 100 some odd days before we got that big 500%.
All right, Louis, I have to press you.
Press
okay?
me.
I must press you. All right. Bidding a 66 or 67% pullback works until suddenly you bid it and then it goes down another, whatever percentage. How do we know that this 60% pullback on altcoins isn't the one that ultimately leads into the bear market?
I mean, that's a great question. My answer would be just knowing where we are in the cycle relative to Bitcoin being at all-time highs. And normally we see continuation after all-time highs. Same thing with volume and with retail being here. We're not seeing that volume that we saw at the peak of the last market cycle. Let me give you an example. Like right now, I have friends from home and that I know in real life, and none of them really talk markets or anything like that. I haven't heard a peep from one of them about anything where over the last maybe one text when Bitcoin maybe hit its all-time high. And yesterday we got, GME, AMC, all that starting to pop off left and right. And all of a sudden I wake up to my friends, everyone's a stock expert all of a sudden, everyone's talking about GME. Everyone wants to know what's going on. Now that's retail. And I'm sure a lot of people up here and people watching could say the same, where there's not real interest there. It's knowing and getting a feel for market sentiment is just as important as being able to do technical analysis on a chart. I could do whatever analysis I want, but if I don't have a feel for where we are in the market cycle, I could turn a chart and it could look bearish to me, or it could look bullish. But knowing where you are in the market cycle and kind of getting a feel for that sentiment is a huge part of being successful in this game for sure.
Yeah, no excuse for screen time. We always say that. I think Snorlax, or Snorkel as he's now officially named, Snorkel, was the first to say that, but there really is no excuse for screen time. Like literally just looking at the chart and being like, the context doesn't align, or I've seen this move before, I can't tell you where, but I've seen it, or maybe you can tell me, right? But these aggressive, downturns or lulls for the market they usually precede the crazy expansion, right? It doesn't mean it's a guarantee, but it means that historically speaking, these pullbacks should be embraced rather than, feared, right? And what we've talked about on the show before a lot of times is, this idea of when you break out of a range, right? And it's not a deviation, it would be very atypical to spend 500 or 600 days reaccumulating, in your bear market bottom, break out of it, retest the breakout, start moving up, and then suddenly a bear market, right? That's pretty strange. That's atypical price action. So again, what you're showing here is, again, it's applicable across a plethora of different altcoins, right? hundreds of days of accumulation, aggressive bleeds. People are in denial. It's not here. We must be going down. They still carry that bear market PTSD, and then suddenly ripperoni pizza.
Yep.
It just goes.
Yeah, and even like 88, this is one I played last cycle. It's probably one of my top performers. I can't even fit it on the screen to show you. This has ended up being like a 3,000% gain.
Same for me.
Yeah, for ADA. But yeah, same thing, guys. We you get that. This is what we just came out of. This is like October through maybe, I guess, let's say February, March. We had this run up and everyone's like, oh, that's alt season. Now it's over. You get that 55, 60% correction. You got to watch your portfolio kind of just bleed out. And you could, you in March, beginning of March, middle of March, you're looking at your screen. Wow, I'm worth X amount of dollars. And now you're looking at it as like, wow, my net worth got cut in half. And that's where the emotion kicks in. And honestly, it's more or less by design. Before you get those true exponential gains that we see. But this, like I said, this is nothing new, guys. This is business as usual. So when I see people getting bearish after dealing with all these, 60 to 90 days worth of consolidation and drawdowns, and now you want to get bearish, that's just not how I operate, and it doesn't make sense to me. So that's why I'm hopeful for the future of crypto as an asset class, throughout the rest of the year and moving into maybe 2025.
Louis, I absolutely agree. We are at the point you have there for ADA. And I've been trying to say that for a while. And the hard part now comes for people in the waiting game and not losing the sight of the forest for the trees on the H1 time frame. And so, yeah, I think you nailed it there perfectly.
Thank you, Chef.
It sounded like one of those shows. Thank you, Chef. Cooking shows.
I have some food business background, so.
Oh man, what is that? ADA 21.
Yeah.
We think there's any signal and link still?
None.
I feel like there used to be, but
bro, there's no signal and link.
Let me.
So let me pull up one more thing. Sorry,
you're good. You're good.
Where is it here? That's not it, is it? No, that's soy. I added the files from the last.
Oh, are the likes bad, Louis? Are we back on?
No, honestly, I have no idea. I can't see any of that.
Oh my gosh, I thought we were doing okay with the likes. Louis doesn't think so. Back on the soy.
Here we go. So after showing you guys those, I know Sui with the whole VC scam coin thing I was watching yesterday, and I do somewhat agree where people are fed up, and like even me, like last cycle, I faded the memes, guys. Like this is something where like I know like I kind of like blew up over the last couple of weeks, Chart and Andy and getting behind it, and Pepe I was an early investor in. But last cycle, like I didn't play Doge, I didn't play SHIB, and I watched them. I faded it. I was like, nah, like I got my projects. They got good fundamentals. Like I'm not playing that nonsense. And lo and behold, they ripped. But also with these L1s and stuff like that, are they gonna rip as much as last cycle? I can't say. No one has a crystal ball. But just to compare, projects like Link, ADA, and Sol, Sui is very similar to those projects in that they have, VC backing and stuff like that. And we are now currently seeing like a 90-day consolidation or drawdown of up to 60%. And, this is around the area where we start to see these things turn around and start to go on those parabolic runs. I mean, I can't pick a bottom. That's a fool's game. But just to compare, you've seen all those red drawdowns on those last charts I showed you, and you saw what happened next. So,
Louis, you know what I kind of like, man, is if we take out that wick, like the capitulation wick, that might literally be the generational entry. I've seen that happen before.
That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking, most of the time on these wicks. I think if I zoom in here, I think it was a different chart, but I mapped out, this wick kind of filling a lot of the time that these wicks, you get that slow bleed down. You fill it with candle bodies. and then it goes.
That might be your generational shove spot.
You kind of
I agree, but it absolutely must hold here.
Yeah, I agree. I have a suey bag. If we're not holding here and we continue to bleed lower and lower, I'll probably, I might have to sell a little bit and I'll maybe put into other, better performing assets. But at this time, I can't sell when we're this close to what I think it could possibly be the low. So,
yeah, I still think exactly that, like, this isn't time in crypto to GT your backs into USDT. Like, let's say you are uncomfortable, you are bothered, you are not flourishing with your back, then you may you maybe want to rotate it to something else, and that's totally fine. But don't rotate it into USDT, especially with the way ETH, Total 2, Total 3, and others are looking. You want to be rotating mainly to something better, maybe. Do not overcomplicate it, do not over-rotate, however. Gotta mention that, because we know how people love to chase and then end up, the market ends up moving higher and their backs end up being break even. That's not fun either. So keep that in mind, guys. Do not over rotate. But yeah, at this point of cycle, man, you wanna be allocated. Like this is the time, and you can always be wrong, but this is the best time to take the risk. We have not entered the price discovery, but we have a nice weekly bullish market structure. I mean, what else is there to add?
yeah, speaking of weekly, I got this Bitcoin. This is probably the last thing, and I'll let someone else take over. Is just looking at just from a candlestick, like a Japanese candlestick perspective. We have this weekly long-tailed hammer candlestick, and normally these come after drawdowns or consolidations, and they usually do mark the bottom. Granted, we have it's a decent size range here. We'd have another 7% down, but as long as this wick low is respected, this looks like a bullish reversal or continuation just from a candlestick perspective. And that's just another perspective that I like to add. I like to look at things from all different angles. So that's just another, thing to monitor, note, and just keep an eye on. So, and I think this wick low is sitting around 56.6K. So.
By the way, there was a question from me. Jackis, you saw Credible's meme apocalypse thesis. How does he think Doge goes under 05 and memes also dropping? He's talking about rotations, but that has never happened. Well, I don't know his thesis exactly, but from what you are saying, I do not think that Doge goes under 0.05 because, and if it were, that would probably mean that BTC is sub 40K and that would be the end of things. So I do not think that happens. I think Doge is now embodied in the entire industry, and it will be kind of moving with it, right? Like if BTC and ETH goes up, Doge goes up, or like if BTC and Doge goes up, ETH goes up, right? If that makes sense. I think all of these will be moving similarly towards each other. Some will be doing better, percentage gains, both on the upside and downside, but I think generally they'll be moving together. Maybe, yeah, again, I do not know what his thesis is exactly, so I wouldn't want to bash on anyone. I'm certain there will be, because this cycle we have seen insane amounts of memes being launched. Like the past cycle, that's been Doge and SHIB maybe, mainly, but this cycle that's been the cycle of the memes so far, and it's I do believe that 99% of them will probably drop because there won't be a liquidity. But those with strong communities, those I do think will stay here. Although we can talk about the dilution of that capital, right? Because there is only certain amount of capital that can rotate into those, and some people will choose to be in this community, some people in this community. But I think those with great communities will do well. And so far, I haven't seen a reason for Doge to stop, to be honest. I think Doge goes higher and sees 40 cents this cycle at minimum, if not higher. But we can debate how higher it goes. But I think higher it goes. you know. So that's my thesis on that. But maybe I'm not seeing what he is seeing, you know, and that's possible too.
The big issue that I saw with I skimmed the video. I skimmed his video. I didn't it was a longer video. I didn't watch it all the way through. But I think I understood. I think his charting is good. I mean, it looks like he's looking for a deviation, like a deviation to the downside, which has presented itself in the previous two bear markets before up for Doge. But I think he failed to appropriately contextualize what those deviations were and when they occurred. So
Yeah.
I think his context is missing. Like for us to go back down now to 0.05 or below and put in that downside deviation contextually with where Bitcoin is at and ETH is at.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about like almost like a doom scenario. Like you would basically, for that to happen, you would need Bitcoin to go to like 30K. You'd need
Exactly.
ETH to go to like 1,500. And I think that's
my
very
point.
unlikely. You can't have majors showing strength and then Doge being excluded from that. That doesn't make sense to me.
Exactly, that's my point. And like if that were to happen, I wouldn't. I do not think that would be a deviation for Doge. I think it would legit be over because like if BTC here uh went to new all-time highs in the cycle and then were to lose the structure, it would be similar to what it has done in January 2022, just on even a larger scale. And if it like I'm telling you, if BTC loses 40K, it is over. I'm telling you, it's going to sub 15K at that point. I do not see it. No, I'm serious. Like it cannot do that.
Oppo.
From the market structure perspective, it cannot be going sub 40K. All right, it simply cannot.
I agree. I don't think we're ever going sub 15, but I agree it's fucking over if we lose 40K. But
if we lose 40K from a market structure perspective, and this is the highest time frame, so it cannot do that. It's
you know where we would go,
that.
Jackus? Do you know where we would bottom? I'm gonna tell you right now where we'd bottom. I think you might think it's funny. Remember the Bitcoin CME gap at 22K that I wanted filled? It would finally fill for me.
It would fill, but would it bottom there or just went straight through it? That's the question.
Let's not even talk about this. Is traumatizing to think about. That's not happening. We're not doing that.
Yeah, no, it's really like not there to yeah, exactly as you say, Max. It's not worth having the discussion until we start like until it happens. Really, it's really just like pray. And so many people are doing this, and they are doing this without a reason. And they will like I've seen so many Christmas trees fractals on price of Bitcoin. So they'll like look at the current run up higher. They'll invert it and say, "Hey, we go back down the same." And it's like that's like it has no value because there is no reason why price should do that. It's just fear mongering. It's just engagement grab. But until you like get some like you know, it just doesn't work.
Sato is short. Liquidation at 65K.
Is that recent? Is that
Franco
updated?
just said that, man. Franco
He's
just
short
said
again.
Good.
Sato. Can somebody confirm if that's real? Tucker, do you follow the guy?
Let me get on YouTube.
Is he real, bro? Like
he's an exchange plant, bro. He's an exchange plant.
He's gotta be. He's either a signal or he's it's a demo account, but like, or that guy just loves pain.
He's an exchange plant.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sure.
I however think that it's not worth being inverse Sato because
that's real, by the way. That's real. He is short.
Yeah, I do not think it's worth like being inverse Sato because it's just like at some point people will be like trying to counter trade his every single trade, and at that point it will be the majority and it will not work, and you never know.
That's a long ways off, bro. Nobody knows about this guy, really. I mean, like Chimp Zoo, but like
all I hear is people talking about him. Maybe it's
mean,
my eco
dude,
bubble then. But
yeah, our little bubble of CT is made up of like 15 people. Like, it's real.
It is like 15.
It
hard to
really
say.
is. It really is. Yeah.
But I simply like what I'm trying to do with lots of these mainstream clowns is that I'm just trying to not pay attention to them because you know that they are like someone is behind them pulling the strings. Like on that, I suppose we can all agree. And you never know in which way. Like right, like people will be like, oh, so he is short and liquidation is at 65, so I'm pressing a long with target at 65, and then you know
Oh yeah, you can't blindly. Yeah, you can't blindly do it.
if 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 his capital is provided by the exchange, they essentially like do not care. They just want people entering liquidity. So I'll just focus on price action.
Yeah, that's the winning strategy ultimately, but there is some signal in Sato for sure. He
Yeah.
is like the giga fade, man. Which is why I think he's an exchange plant where like they put him in there knowing that like people actually watch it cuz he's got big size and he's got public liquidations. And I think the exchange figured out, hey, when Sato goes live, it will translate to this much volume coming in to counter him and we'll make this much money
Yeah.
on his, and his counter traders and his liquidation. So, all right, we have to basically give him like 200K to lose and we'll make 300K through traders counter trading him. I think he's a
Exactly.
full-blown exchange plant.
Exactly, something like that.
Yeah.
It's all
By the
about
way,
it.
can some of you guys tell me what the fuck is going on BTC and M5?
5 minute? What happened?
M5, what happened?
Tucker, you got it?
Yeah. What are you on? Binance, Jackus?
Yeah, like this. Like,
Oh, this whole, yeah.
like
I
just
mean,
up,
what is
down,
it?
It's the
up,
bear
down,
market,
up, down.
Jackus. It's over. It's a bear market.
What are these? These are like
Wow.
1% moves. Yeah, that's kind of big, I guess.
Probably till tomorrow, right?
Someone's just straddling price right now.
Just the whole, yeah, okay.
I can imagine there is just some, PNL shadow that is catching each bottom wick and bottom top, sorry, top wick and bottom wick with 30R saying how he nailed it.
Of course. Of course.
I mean, this is terrible to trade. Look at this. Just the BART. Jeez, man. I mean, there was truly nothing in the chart that told you that we were just gonna boom like that. Like there was nothing. Like you should have just kept doing this probably, but they just rugged it.
It's like Tucker. It's legit like BTC in August 2023. It's legit like it simply it has simply double retested the monthly open there. That's all it was. Like the same way on higher time frame, BTC retested 25K in August 2023. Like it didn't need to do that second dump, but it did.
Yeah, hold on, look at this. Yeah, there we go. Look at this, man.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yeah, I see that.
You see what I mean?
I see that. Yeah, I see that. Bullshit price action, but technically an uptrend.
Like,
it's just a postpone of the inevitable. It's just a postpone. Like it's just a further range. While and at that point, you either are like on super lower time frames, scalping, I suppose. But on the higher time frames, you just have few levels and in a range the price is not hitting any important higher time frame levels really much.
yeah,
Like the only one was the monthly open there.
The masses are going to be stopped out and ran through the ringer before the real move happens. That's just the way of markets.
Yeah.
We're
That's what
getting
they-
to be at that point. I mean, we could definitely continue chopping for a little bit longer, but I feel like most people are just getting abused right now. Just so upset with the price action.
I heard Papa Powell speaking today.
Oh God.
He
Is
did
he?
speak. I think he already spoke.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
maybe.
Oh, he spoke on PPI this morning. Yeah, he'll talk. He'll talk about CPI tomorrow, won't he?
Yeah, he already spoke today,
I think
like
so.
Or is he
an
not talking tomorrow? I
hour
guess
and a half ago.
he already spoke this month, didn't he?
I mean, guys, DXY looks fucking cooked right now, man. Like, all right, let me Tommy the chart.
Do it.
All right, so
It still needs to lose that level max we talked about. Until it does that, it's the same as with BTC. Like nothing, just local chop.
No, Jackus, you missed. Louis had a great fractal from. Just look at the two dumps that it had, bro. Look at the two dumps that it had from the range highs.
here's your guys' chart.
Let's see it next. Let's see.
I mean, Louis was saying that we're basically like
You want
this
me to
is
just
where
pull it
we're
up
at
real quick?
right here.
Oh, that's totally possible. I mean, I just want to see it lose. Wait, let me actually open up the chart.
What level are you talking about, Jackus?
I want to see DXY lose 104.1. When it does that, when it does that, then it's over for DXY.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like confirmation for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, look at what happened last time, right? DXY shit the bed. Absolutely shit the bed.
What are the yields doing?
I think yields were down this morning. I popped on Garrett Soloway's morning video. I think they were down.
They rejected pretty well with DXY, but again, just like with DXY, needs to reject furthermore. And I'm anticipating that because like yields are on a death sentence because sooner or later the rate cuts will happen, and I think it comes what is it, August? When are the Fed meetings? Actually, let me see. Okay. One sec. Space is want to load up. There is actually 9% probability for a cut in June.
What? No. Really?
Yeah.
No.
What after today's CPI?
That did not change that much. No way.
Yeah, 9% probability for a cut in June. And
Did you say 9 or 90?
I said 9.
Oh, I thought you said 90. I was like, what the fuck? No, you're wrong. There's no way.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
not.
Okay, I thought you said 90. My bad. I was like, that is very, very different than what I was told. So, okay.
There is a 70% probability for a rate cut in August. I think it comes on the September meeting when they actually rate cut. Oh, sorry. Actually, there is sorry, I said it wrongly.
70% chance of a pause through July.
Yeah. Sorry,
and then
July.
a 50% chance that we get our first cut in September.
Yeah, I think that's about fair right now. And you know, Max, that I was saying this a year ago.
Yeah.
So I think that the DXY and the yields are on death sentence in that regard. Like you will not have really yields spiking higher if you're gonna get rate cuts, but the question is exactly when. So until then, DXY still have time to like produce some last spike higher. But if it loses that 104.1 level, in my opinion, then it's cooked.
Let's see. Who wants the chart? Anybody?
That is quite a chart.
Louis, let's see from Louis.
I'm just looking at last bull market. What happened to DXY? Just got cooked, man.
All right, Louis, it's your time. Cook.
Oh wow, I already cooked. I'll keep cooking.
You can keep on cooking as long as you want.
You guys want some XRP bullish propaganda? I know Tucker loves that.
Jackus loves it more, honestly. Jackus likes it.
I do.
Let's look at this here. I found this last night. The fucking channel from hell. It likes to do this. So I was just speculating if we got the same move out of the channel lows.
It's the most obvious. It's the most obvious accumulation there. And what I'm actually interested on lately is that Ripple will be targeting the stablecoin market, and but the current stablecoin market cap is around $250 or like $300. Based on the survey that they shared, I'm not sure who done it though, but it's projected that the stablecoin market will go to 3 trillion by 2028. That's like larger than the current crypto market capitalization.
Wow.
That's insane. It's just 3.5 years away. So if stablecoin market is projected to go to 3 trillion, that imagine what it means for crypto, and you are fucking bearish. And I don't mean you guys, but like CTO there.
Yeah, I mean this is an emerging asset class. Like it's like we were literally, I don't even know when did the stock market even like become a thing? It was like the early 1900s or even earlier than that. Well,
earlier.
Yeah. But it's like getting involved then. It's like this is like we're like 12, 15 years into the brand new asset class. This is like a generational opportunity. So like when you're a grandpa or a grandma and your kids are like, oh, what were you doing when the crypto asset class was just started out and you had an opportunity to start building your positions? Oh, I was too scared. I was bearish.
Yeah, that's what Max legit keep on saying. He's like, how can you be a grown-up man and look into your kid's eyes and tell him that you're bearish right now?
Yeah. How could I, as a grown man, look at my son in the eyes and beat my bags? I could never do that.
There is also that meme where like you have that dad, it's a black and white photo, and you have a dad with his 2 kids. Yeah, no, it's a dad with his 2 kids, right? Yeah. There is a son and girl, and daughter, and like the daughter is asking him, Dad, what did you do during the 2022 bear market? And he's like, bought more Bitcoin. And then the kid is like, fucking legend.
Yeah, that's the goal, man. We have an opportunity to do it. This is like our like a lot of like I guess we're all around. I don't know how old you are, Jackus, but like a lot of people. I'm 28, and like a lot of people's parents my age, that were involved in the stock market in the 90s and 2000s. There was a large group of guys, young 20s, early 30s, that got involved in the stock market before, during, and that tech boom that we got in the early 2000s, and they went from regular young guys to millionaires over a couple years span, and that was their generational time to do it. And I mean, I'm still convinced that this is every generation kind of has their time and their way to do it. And I just this is my answer to that, and that's why I'm so all in every day on this, because it's just like we're never, you're not going to get an opportunity like this again. So
absolutely, man. Like the same with like I always love these historical lessons with like, for example, the internet companies, when there has been hedge funds that been longing them, right? And they like grew so high, so big, and it was going on for years, and they got like insanely big, and then at that point they were like, all right, this is just insane, all right, like the valuations are insane. You know what? This was like year 1998, and they were like, you know what, we and this is something you would like think is totally logical. So they were like, we are going to long the strong, stocks and short the weak ones. And this like sounds totally, good, because lots of people think like that nowadays in crypto. They're like, hey, I'm gonna long, these, for example, I don't know, meme coins, DAO, the AI, this or that, and I'm gonna short the garbage, right? But do you know what happened back to this fund? It went bankrupt because everything then was sending to higher valuations. Like even the garbage just went up thousands of percent. And this is like the insanity that the markets then can take at some point. So this this is always very important for me, because I wasn't live during those times, and lots of times, you cannot experience some of these events in your lifetime, but you need to take lessons from them. And I just try to. I just try to, like, for example, there were, funds that went absolutely crazy, just longing on Monday open and closing on Monday close. And it worked for like 10 years. And, you would think like, when I say that 10 years, it doesn't sound like that long. But imagine living through 10 years, through a decade. It's a fucking long time. So that convinces people. Like, imagine if someone is, doing really well for 2 years. You are thinking like, oh, they really figured it out, right? And then that's 10 years, and you're like, oh my god, these guys are making absolutely amazing gains with this strategy, buying the market open and then selling on the closing bell, for example. And then you know what, these guys went bankrupt too. So it always works for a certain period of time. So it can work for some time, but essentially the only thing that will prevail is always the context for the time. And that cannot be, in my opinion, that cannot even be like implemented. I also think like what I keep hearing people saying is like, AI will absolutely, take out all the traders and AI will rule it all. And I mean, I'm pretty sure AI is going to be useful in many ways, but like there is a simple rule. Not everyone, the majority cannot be making money. It's just the way it is. So AI won't be able to outperform, in my opinion, the other AIs. Like there will have to be someone that's losing in the markets too. So I think, thinking in this kind is important. Anyways, I cannot let myself lose there.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I know back to that question we got about that crypto, was it the meme pop apocalypse?
Yeah.
By Credible. I mean, I like his stuff. He killed it all the way up. So I'm not discrediting him at all. But one thing I did see he posted last night was he's kind of comparing it to Matic, kind of where like Matic was an early runner, I guess, similar to what he's comparing to Pepe. I'm not 100% sure. But what he did point out, which actually is something I'll be looking for. And just, granted, I am bullish. I think we're heading to this area next, around 10 to 15 billion market cap on Pepe in the near term. But he did point out that Matic kind of had a similar structure. Maybe Max could cook something up. He's better at that than me trying to do it on the fly here, where it kind of had this consolidation range. It deviated up here, and then it was just kind of just died after that. Granted, that was after Matic ran up all the way to 16 billion market cap, whereas Pepe is around like 4 or 5. So, but that's what he's looking for. So I will be, I would like to see this zone hold as support after yesterday's move. And if we do start to do some of this, I would be a little more concerned. I mean, we can still keep this as a sideways range, but I would be a little less bullish in the short term if we do see this kind of come back inside. Just as a precautionary, you got to watch for those things. You can't just be blindly bullish all the time.
Okay, I see. Is this what you're talking about, Louis? You're talking about...
Yes, exactly. Yep. So I
So
think
he's
that's what he was talking about. I don't think he said Pepe, but like I noticed it right off the bat when I saw the Matic chart. I was like, yeah, it looks like Pepe. It's probably what he's gonna do.
Yeah, I see that.
Is this what he's talking about?
Yep.
Yeah, I
Not
see
gonna
that
happen,
too.
bro. Not
Listen, I,
I don't
I do
think
not
so.
I do not think as well that it's happening because of the time of the cycle we are. So contextually
agree.
wise, I do not think so. That said, I was just telling the boys that I took profits for various reasons. And for that to like give us a range low rate test, it would first need to lose that first demand box that's right below it, right? Until then, it can easily keep continuing higher. So like I think contextually wise, I think memes still go higher this cycle. But again, I have to sometimes concentrate my feelings too, and I just took partial profits there. Which I think is like the right play, because again, if the market keeps sending, I keep making money. But if not, then I feel great because I took those profits too. So it's just my strategy to do that.
I mean, the big difference I see here is that this leg up, I mean, contextually, again, it's like
Yeah.
you can't just take a fractal and say, oh, well, this
There
looks
is,
the same.
by
This
the
could
way,
happen.
there is some horrible sound from one of you in the background.
Yeah, it's terrible. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a mower, guys. It's a mower. Do they not mow over in Czech, Jackers?
Wait, what?
I don't know if it's me or not. I don't hear anything. But
That's a 48-inch lawnmower, brother.
Okay,
I have
so
no idea what you're talking about, Tiger.
they're cutting the grass, is what he's saying.
Oh,
So looking at this, I mean, the big difference is like this was a cycle global top for Polygon that aligned with Bitcoin dominance trending down and alt season, going crazy. We haven't seen that at all. This is Bitcoin dominance right here for Pepe, literally going straight up in a straight line. Additionally, so we just identified that this move happened in alt season, and this was your like final distribution. If we want to just look at like Bitcoin now, like where Bitcoin was at, I mean, this Matic top was your final like global top distribution for Bitcoin. Unless you think the top is in on Bitcoin and like that is it for good. Again, it just doesn't align with my bias for for crypto. Like I don't think that this is where Bitcoin is right now. I just don't. That doesn't really make sense to me. So I don't think you can just kind of loosely take it and say like, oh, this fractal's the same. Fractals without context are gibberish. Like you have to apply context. So I didn't watch his whole video, but if he was saying that he's bullish Bitcoin but bearish Pepe or Doge, that's a contradiction that doesn't make sense to me.
Can't have one without the other. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Especially with the volume and the interest we're seeing. Like it doesn't make sense.
I mean, look at Matic, what happened to Bitcoin with this move, right? Like here's Bitcoin. Here's the Matic pair, the fractal that he was talking about. Like, look at when these moves happened here. This was your global top for crypto and your double top for Bitcoin. And then Matic did this because Bitcoin did this, right? So if you don't think that Bitcoin is going to do this, then it doesn't really make sense for your altcoin to do that, whatever it is, right? So I don't think this is where Bitcoin is. I don't think we've put in some like, global cycle top, triple top bullshit move, whatever. So again, it's like you can't have this without this. It's the same thing, It's the same thing. It's one big trade, like you don't have the luxury of like cherry picking. Like if you're going to be bearish Pepe and Doge and altcoins, then you're super bearish Bitcoin also.
Yeah.
I
mean, I get the thesis behind like how are all of these meme coins going off, popping off left and right? It doesn't make sense. There's projects that have venture capitalists behind it, and they have utility and they're layer ones and they're layer twos. I get it. It makes sense. And that's normally how I would look at it. And that's how I looked at it last cycle. And I got left behind on some amazing, meme plays as within Doge and SHIB. But at the end of the day, you can't have one without the other. If you think Bitcoin and alts are going to go up, memes and whatever else you want to call it. I mean, granted, if you're talking, micro caps on base and Sol, like, okay, that's a different story. But if you're talking like Pepe, with like larger market cap coins that have actual liquidity, I don't see that happening. And like Max was saying yesterday, and the guys, it's just the market is playing its hand. It's like a lot of crypto participants are sick of the next venture capital project just to get rugged. And, you got the token unlocks, this and that. These are opportunities where you can get in with the community, exactly who the holders are, who's going to dump on you, who's not going to dump on you. And you could rally together and kind of create your own market in a sense. And then that's where people are starting to gravitate towards. And that's what really was the light bulb for me. And I was like, wow, like, okay, like this is real. And you should not be ignoring this, even though it makes no logical sense. But at the end of the day, if markets were logical, everyone would be rich and make money in the markets. So,
yeah, no, 100%. Really great points there, Louis. Tucker, what you got for us, man? Anything? You got any charts? He might be. He's gone. He's gone, man.
You caught
He's
him
gone.
off guard.
It's over.
He was like, all right, these guys are talking. I'm going to leave for like 1 minute, have a drink, and then you call him out.
It's over.
It's over.
Man, this chop bleed here on ETH is very exhausting, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is just so brutal.
But I think really that in a few weeks' time, we will look back and think of this like the 25 to 31K range on BTC.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we will look back and say, hey, it was so obvious.
I want to avoid this, though.
Don't do it again.
I want to avoid that if we can.
Like,
I'm patient, but come on.
Yeah, exactly. If that happens, we are hanging ourselves, man.
And I mean, look at the time, right? 61 days and then pump from this high. 61 days would take us like right here, man.
We're right there. I'm seeing that on alts too. We're like right at that time span period.
That's what I've been, proclaiming the past days, that we are exactly there.
I mean, we're probably very close, man. And people are just like, bro, some big accounts are calling for like the global top today. It's like crazy. I'm like, could we be here?
Booty Bandits, 25, 31K range was the worst part of the cycle, and I agree. And like this isn't much different. Like, this range is boring as
It's brutal. It's brutal, man. It's really brutal.
You see how it's out there, people attacking each other, frustrated, and so forth. Not fun. Not fun.
A lot of the same people that were getting bearish in that range are bearish now. You guys know who I'm talking about, but it's like whatever. But yeah, it's just what markets do. They play with their emotions, and some people it's not made for everybody.
No, it's certainly not. I mean, this could be. Oh man, the mega range of death. Oh man, this would be so boring. Oh, imagine this. 193 days. Imagine right here. It's over, man. It's over. Nah, we're not doing this. We're good.
Jeez, why does it look so much longer?
That's
Where
what
does that put us, Max?
That's what she said, Louis. That would put us out into September, man.
So basically, chop summer, and then resume going into the election. I mean, it's not out of. I mean, it makes sense. I don't
bro,
want.
imagine. Imagine this, dude.
I'd have to go back to scalping, and I really don't want to.
The good news is we might get one more pump, though. You know, something like this.
I mean, that'll chop it up a little bit. That'll make it a little better. We haven't even gotten that yet.
Here. Oh, I missed the pump, guys.
How are you guys? I know you guys, you guys have been gaining a lot of traction, subscribers. How is the viewership now compared to like 2 months ago, or is it just
better?
It's been about the same. We were, as markets were moving up, we were growing quickly, and now we're just plateaued. Direct tie to the markets.
Yeah, well, I mean, normally I feel like it would go down, but you guys are actually growing, so you're remaining the same. But I feel like normally it would drop significantly. So you guys growing is kind of counteracting it. So I'm sure once we start to head back up, the viewers and stuff will start pouring back in for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, maybe we see this. Man. I hope this doesn't happen, man. Now I'm scared. Now I'm scared it's going to happen.
Damn, look at that wizard.
It's over. Who the hell keeps messaging me on Discord? Gosh.
Sorry, that's me in the ad channel.
Oh, you and the dev, you're doing something?
Yeah, regarding the newsletter. Just got published.
I'm going to read it. I'm a subscriber. All right. Well, we're going to leave you with this very boring scenario to mull over, everybody. Been going for an hour and 20 minutes. Thank you guys so much for being here. As always, this is Market Check brought to you by BB. Before you go, please consider liking and also subscribing if you are new here, guys. Really helps us grow. And again, we are live Monday through Friday at 10:55 a.m. Eastern time, so you don't want to miss out. You want to come hang out with us. We're here every single day. Definitely consider subscribing. Last but not least, check out the links in the description below. It helps support us and also support your trading journey. The first link is to our Discord. You can sign up. We do 2 hours a day of private live voice calls with Q&A with me and the rest of the Because Bitcoin team. We have active positions channels and TA channels. We basically show you guys behind the curtain and navigate basically everything that we're doing in these markets, right? Full transparency. Stuff we don't talk about here on YouTube or on X. Also, within the next 30 days, you are going to get free access included in your existing Discord membership to our new flagship product called the BB Terminal. Guys, it's portfolio tracking, derivatives data, heat maps, literally everything that you need to succeed in these markets, all conveniently bundled into one super website, which you will be given for no additional cost included in your existing Discord membership. Second link in the description below is to the BB Academy, guys. If you want to speed run your educational journey in these markets and understand the arts of technical and fundamental analysis, we can save you weeks, months, quarters, and even years of learning the wrong things from the wrong people. We put it all together into one super academy, one masterclass, guys. Okay, it's very, very fairly packaged right now. It's curated by me and the entire Because Bitcoin team. We show you all of our little secrets, all of our tips and tricks that we have accrued over years of trading. All right. Years of trading. We share it all with you guys in the BB Academy. Again, that's the second link in the description below. You can fly through the course. And again, we share with you all of the strategies that you guys see and love here on Market Check. Again, it's tremendous value for the price. Guys, thanks so much for being here. Please like and subscribe. Also, follow Louis on Twitter, guys. You can go to my page. I retweeted him recently. You will see him on there. Give Louis a follow. Great trader, great guy. Guys, thanks again for being here. Like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Take care.